I'm serving to be your instructor for today for operating system, and also double as your program coordinator. So it's good to have you here. Uh, I believe we'll have a good time, a good session. Unfortunately, I have to change with some the database, madam, this morning because I have a program which I have to attend to this morning. So I'll take only the first 1 hour to introduce you to the course, and then we get to know ourselves. She'll take you through the course outline and the first week lecture. Then after which, the database madam will continue with you. So your colleagues are not here. I check 6 minutes after 7, and I can see only 8 of you online. So if is the course rep here?
Yes, please.
Can you inform your colleagues about the time that the class has started?
Yeah,
Normally, come again.
I've informed them.
Yes, our time is very important. We have to stick to the time because after each course, you have only 15 minutes to change or transit into the next course. So we don't have much time to spend for the starting of the course. So once it is 7, it is 7. It's not the Ghanaian 7 o'clock. So they have to come on board so that we can start. So without wasting much time, once again, I want to welcome you officially to our first session. I will not do this with you all the time. It's just today that I'm going to meet you, with the reason that there is a penny program I have ahead of me this week and next week. So after which we'll resolve to our normal time. So normally you have your operating system on the normal time, 9:15 to 11. So that will be the normal time. But for today, because I have to attend to some other emerging program, so I'm using part of madam's time to take you. All right, so course rep, I have shared the course material with you, and all the course materials has also been populated on the learning management portal, that's the LMS. So those of you who have not yet visited there, you can do so immediately after this to get access to all the materials that you need up to the 3rd week. The rest will be updated accordingly as we move along. Your outline will also be made available for you. The recommended reading materials has also been uploaded with a brief introduction to the course. So all that you need to start with the course has been made available on the LMS for you to have access to them. So if you have any question or concern, the contact numbers are also provided for further contact for further assistance. So feel free, enjoy your course, and I know at the end of the day, we'll have a great session for the semester and the future studies ahead of us. So once again, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Can we start?
Yes, please.
All right. Who is the course rep? Is it Stephen or Praise?
Please, Stephen Asamoah.
All right, great. Good to have you on board.
Thank you.
Who is your assistant?
Is
Or yet to select? Okay. So I know you get a good supporting assistant to do the work. All right. So starting the course, as I said, I'm taking you through the operating system. So we'll be looking at the course outline, look at the expected outcome of the course, and then the learning areas that we need to achieve. So in order for us to be on the same page, I would like to take you through the course outline, even though it has been uploaded on the LMS for you, and also shared with your course rep. I want to take you through briefly to know exactly what is required and how we are going to approach the lesson for the semester. So I want to do that. And I also have my philosophy. I'll be encouraging you some wastage of the day before we start. But for now, let's go through the outcome, because the number of you that are here, some of you have not yet adjusted to the time. So instead of starting it, let's do it at the end of the session. So when it is 8, I'll pause and end my session. So I'll try to deliver within the first hour so I can have the time for the rest of the session. So it means that the database woman will extend the time to part of the operating system time, and I'm sure you'll be able to cooperate with her. So now, operating system is our course that we have for today. What is it about? I know most of you have seen it on your timetable. You might have gone through to read something about it. What is your mind? What you are expecting in this course? Can anybody share his or her view with us? We have some ladies in the program. Yeah, seeing the operating system on your timetable. What do you have to say about it? What happened to your, it's in line of thinking when you see this operating system on your timetable? What did you do about it? Have somebody read something? Do you have any idea what exactly is expected of you? Anyone have an idea what the operating system is about and what they are going to study? Hello? Okay, I mean, coming from your background as a top-up student, I know you might have even done this course in any of your prerequisite program. So with the operating system, we are going to discuss about an essential software which every individual in computing field will have to be aware of. And every program that you use also required the presence of this software in order to enable other softwares to function. And everyone who uses the computers also needs this software in order to interact with the system. So the OS serves as a bridge between the users and then other softwares, the functioning of the entire computer system, the design principles of the hardware components, and then the software components are all considered in this particular course. So with OS, it is one of the essential softwares that you will be needing throughout your computing life, either computer science student, information technology student, software engineering student, computer engineering student, or professional. Anyone that uses computer utilizes this particular software, or this software aid the person in order to achieve his or her desired or targeted goal. And it also helps the entire system to function, entire computer system to function. So that is about OS for you. It is inevitable software that you will be meeting or you need in this particular program. And beyond this program, your field of professional life in terms of IT, you continually and constantly be in touch or use of this operating system. Here, we will not going to talk about one particular single type of OS, but I'm going to talk about the general principles of how operating systems are designed, the core component of the operating system, the architecture, and how they function. So at the end of this course, you should have a general idea about how operating systems are designed, how they operate, and behind every button that you click, you also know that there is a code that is making a decision. So that is what the whole course is about. Are we fine? Okay. Please, if you want to respond, just unmute yourself and then you talk. The only thing, just know the background. I will require that you respond so that I know you are with me, having come this far. I may not know how active you are until I hear your response. So as much as possible, I may be requiring you to respond to my questions in order to let me know that you are active over there. And with time also, I will be mentioning names spontaneously to know whether you are really alive online or you just log in and you are doing your own thing. The temptation of online is that sometimes people log in and then they do their own thing behind. As much as possible, we would like you to pay full attention and concentrate in the class and also be active and get a good environment, just like you be in a physical classroom, and have your pen and paper by your side together with your laptop and then your phone for further assistance. Are we together here?
Yes, please.
Okay. We thank God for everybody's life and how far we have come. So now, these are the outline for the presentation. I will quickly go through and it'll be fine. So for the operating system, as I've already introduced to you, the main purpose and focus of this particular course is to know the core structure of the operating system, the functions of the operating system, and then the design principles of operating system. This is what you are required to know in this course. So by the time you finish this course, you should have the in-depth knowledge about the core structure of the OS, the functions of OS, and then the design principles. And as I said earlier, it's not specifically to one versions of operating system. Example, maybe Windows 8 or Windows 10. We are not going to deal with one version of OS, but we are talking about the general principles of operating system, their core structure that they made up of. So we're talking about the architecture. Then we'll look at the functions. What are their main core functions or the role in terms of computing? Then how are they designed? These are the things that we'll be doing at the end. Now, to move a bit further, to narrow down our studies, you'll be taken through how the computer manages its activities. So we're talking about scheduling, how processes are managed, and then the operating system management in terms of how it carries out its duties, specifically in terms of the hardware functionalities and the management. So we're talking about some of the memory management aspect of the computer, how the computer allocates and then deallocate memory to the various hardware and the software that require that services. Then we'll finally look at the file structure, how files are organized in the operating system, how they access. We're talking about security aspect as well, how we protect the resources in the system. So in order to have a practical feel of it, we'll be narrowing down to some of the specific versions of operating systems within the types that we'll be considering. So we'll be looking at the various types of OS, starting from this operating system, which is known as DOS. Then we'll look at Linux operating system, and then we'll also look at the Windows operating system. So with these major ones, we'll delve into the various versions and how they function and how they are being also used in order to enhance our productivity in the computing environment. So if you have been using any of these OS already, then we thank God for how far He has brought you. And those of you who have been using it but you don't even really understand the principles, we also delve into it, and then you will make an in-depth understanding of this. So that is about the course. Now, how do we achieve this? So our learning outcome will direct us how we'll be able to do so. So the learning outcome have been divided into 6 major areas. We call them units. So the first unit of our studies, we'll be looking at the essentials of operating system as the basis, what we need. This will include definition, the purpose, the resource management, and then we'll extend it to virtual computers, and then we'll look at the historical development of operating system. So that is the first part. And second, we'll look at the processes and their importance in a computing system. And this will go extensively into it, talking about the processes, what are processes, then how do we manage processes, selection of critical exclusions, look at semaphore monitors, the classical problem like deadlock and the process scheduling. We'll be discussing them within the unit. Please, are you there?
Yes, please. We are here.
Good. If you have any concern, just draw my attention. Now, the third unit, we'll look at what's involved in the detailed functionalities of the system. After processes, we'll go into the aspect that we call impasse and sanctuaries. This one deals with deadlock, how deadlock can be avoided, how can it be detected, and how do you also recover from deadlock. When we talk about deadlock, it's simply a state where one process computing for 2 or more resources, and then to a point that the computer does not know who should release, the OS does not know who should release the resource to and who should use it at a time. So it will come to a point the operation becomes, the computer becomes standstill. It doesn't respond to anything. And mostly we face this in our daily lives. Those of you who drives, especially if you're in Accra or Kumasi, busy towns, you get to some junctions and the traffic could be very heavy, especially during the rush hours. And everybody would like to go. When the traffic light are not working, everybody would like to go, and you get to a point, the same road, every car want to go, and you get to a point, become standstill. Nobody get any way to go, and then no one is ready to give chance to his or her friend to go. So all of you become standstill. And that state, we refer to it as deadlock. In computing also, it happened. When a process is requesting, 2 processes are requesting for the same resource, you get to a point, the system does not know who should access the resource, then the computer will hang. So mostly what you do there is that your computer is not responding, then you end up restarting it. Then after you finish restarting it, the system starts to respond. And sometimes we do it, but we don't know what exactly we're doing. So that is the state we refer to as deadlock. Has anybody got to that stage of your computer utilization that you have to restart the computer before respond to a command?
Yes.
Good. So we'll be discussing it, and that's what we refer to as deadlock. So how do we avoid it? So we have deadlock avoidance, detection, and a recovery. So we'll discuss them in the unit 3. Then the 4th unit is going to involve the I/O system, how they work. That is the input-output systems and the functionalities. So computer comes with a lot of components. Some of them help us to send instruction to the system. Others also help us to display the instruction or the result from the system. Others also help us to keep the information or the process data for future reference. All these involve the hardware devices, and they help you to carry out those tasks. So we would like to know how these devices work in order to help us to achieve our task. So we'll be talking about the input and output hardware and software controls. Okay. Then the next one is element of memory organization, which is very key. How does the computer manages memories? And this is another major area that we'll be discussing, talking about the organization of the memory, how files are also organized, how they are created, stored, and accessed, are all things that we're going to talk about. Then we also look at the system be able to handle multiple programming or multiple tasks at the same time. While a lot of programs are running, the system still need to control them. Now moving some of the files from working memory to external memory and keeping them for future reference. And then also creating memories out of the drive provided in order to run more additional programs on the computer. Then talking about segregating the tasks and implementing strategies in order to enhance the performance of the system. The OS has a unique way of managing all these things. So we'll discuss them. So we're talking about virtual memory, paging, and then we look at the segmentation, file systems, and implementation of some of the techniques, how to handle them, and then finally, how do we enhance the performance of the computer? So that will be under Unit 5. Then the Unit 6, talk about the networking and security, which is key aspect of the system. Networking and security. And those of you who are networking professionals, I'm sure you appreciate this one. This is the area where you can even advance your studies and specialize in either network administration, system administration, security, or cyber. You can go to either system security, software security, or cyber security, depending on your area of interest and where you want to specialize. So we'll have a general overview of it, how the OS is able to help to manage the networking environment and the security aspect of the computer system. So our study is going to focus on protection of our devices. So we'll talk about the protection mechanism, how we can protect the resources that are stored on the computers, how we can also protect the hardware and the software that are on the computer, so that we don't allow people to just have access to them anyhow. Then we'll be looking at the various techniques in the protection, either in a work group or in a domain environment, using either the access list compatibility or using the input mechanism for protection. We'll also talk about the principles of minimum privilege that we can give to people. Someone comes from a laptop, how do you restrict the person from gaining access to other information or resources on the system? Do you just give it out and then allow him or her to utilize your system the way he wants? You must also know how to control. Then finally, we'll look at the security threats and attack. There are some security threats we have that comes to the hardware component, some to the software, and some to the users. So we'll look at them and how attack also occur. And then we'll talk about the protection mechanism using encryption, and then the method of encrypting our system, our files, and then folders on it, and then the access mechanism, which is known as authentication. Knowing who you are, what you have, and how to know. All those things will be discussed at this particular session. So it is a pack course. In fact, OS is one of the general courses in the computing, in the sense that it cuts across all other areas in computing where you can specialize. So you don't take it as if you are just coming to learn one version of operating system because maybe you know how to use Windows. So we're coming to talk about just Windows. No. will go beyond just the windows. But if you have the knowledge in it, it will be an added advantage for you for easy understanding of the course. So that is the general expected outcome. And they are all summarized into this. So when you look at it, we have about 14 weeks that we're supposed to spend. But on our case, we are spending 12 weeks. So meaning that there are some weeks we have to do 2 of the units. Do 2 of the units or model in the week. So depending on how we arrange our time. Some of the days we'll do 2, some of the days we'll do 1, depending on the volume involved in each of the units that we'll be discussing. So this is the summary of the course outline, which I want you to be aware of. On this point, I would like to find out if you have some questions before we proceed. Don't worry about the dates that has been assigned there, because we use the same material for our regular students, so you don't worry about the date assigned here. What you do is that your date is going to go according to the day we are starting. Are you with me?
Yes, please.
Please.
Any question? Okay. If no question, then let's proceed. So now, what are the requirements for this course? I think majority of you are even qualified for the course. So once you are here, with 300 top-up students, you are supposed to know some fundamentals of computing, have an idea about computing fundamentals, what is involved. Then basic knowledge in computer networking. Knowledge in computer networking. You also have to know about computer architecture and organization, which I believe most of you have gone through, and some of you might be practicing it in the industry. So that when you bring your practical experience into the class in order to enhance our studies. Then you also look at data communication. You're supposed to know data communication and networking, have a background in it. And having seen some of your background, know that you are overqualified for the course. Basic knowledge in information security systems. And then finally, you should have general knowledge in computing. That will guide your studies. So with this, I'm sure you are all fully prepared for the course. Now, let's go to reading materials and the recommended materials that you need. I have to add tools to it, because one of the tools we need in this course is your laptop. Everybody in this course is supposed to have a laptop. And I believe you all have that. Everyone have a laptop, right?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes.
So the reading materials we're supposed to have here have been listed here. The operating system concept is there. I think I've shared 1 or 2 of them on the page. And then your manual will also be given to you alongside as we go ahead. Then we have the operating system 3rd edition by Harvard, and then Deitel and then Paul. These are very great men in the industry. You can download them, get a soft copy, and you read for more knowledge. Now, this one, I think this one, the Taliban is on the page already. Albert S. Taliban, and then Andrews S. operating system has already been shared, so you can go and read through. All right, so course code for the course. Sorry, this one, I think I didn't replace this one. Yours is, I think, CS33. Let me be sure. I'll make changes on the slide. This one is not for you, but it's on the page. It has been uploaded, so with the right course code. Let me check and be sure. Okay, if you go through the LMS, you see there. Because of the online, it's blocking my view here. So that is what you'll be doing. Now, the assessment method, the mode of assessment, very interesting and important for you to note. At the end of the semester, you will be examining and you will be required to provide understanding of what you have learned. Not to do true and poor, but a question will be provided for you to apply and then justify your understanding in the course. And this will be marked over 60% of your total assessment. That will be the end of semester exam. Then in the course of the studies, we'll be doing some assignment, exercises, and then midterm projects. And that will also add up to 40 marks. This is not going to come from just one work. A series of work will be given to you, and the sum cumulative will be sum up to 40%. So whatever score you get, 40% will be struck out of that and to be added to your 60% in the examination. So you can decide not to, you cannot decide not to come for class and then only wait and write the exam and then score 60/60 and pass. No, you are supposed to get some marks from the assessment and then another marks from the exam for you to pass. So you don't necessarily depend only on the end of semester exam, because understanding of the course is very important to us. We want you to go out there and then practice what you have studied. So attendance, regular attendance of or participation of class is very important, and then your self-study is also important. So attendance is key to us. And then you may be asked to do some practical work. So the midterm is not going to be right time. The good news is that the question will be given to you, a project question will be given to you. You work in groups. So you have to find ways of forming a study group. Then you submit it for an assessment. But there are some exercises that will be sent to you. Those ones you do them individually. So to every assignment, there will be an indication. Either it's a group work or it's an individual work. If it is group, only the group leaders will submit it on the behalf of the group. But when it is an individual work, then each one of you will submit. So normally, if you have two face-to-face meetings, all the assignment to be doing now from now to the time you come for the first face-to-face. First, you upload them on the LMS, and when you are coming face-to-face, you bring a hard copy. We have experienced that people upload, then you download the file, and some of the file get corrupted, and the student don't have the chance to submit another one again. So in order not to be in that situation, we provide the opportunity for you to upload online, and when you are coming for a face-to-face exam and face-to-face class, you bring the assignments, projects. That is the normal practice. So the second set of assignments will also be collected during the second face-to-face, and if there are any other one, the final one will be collected during the exam time when you come. But mostly all of them have to be submitted online whilst you wait for the final submission of the hard copy when you come to campus. So that is the way I deal with my assessment on these studies. So you may not do real time or face-to-face real time midterm, but it will be of a project base, and it will be something that the question will be given to you after you finish a stated date, then you submit. But the date must be adhered to. You have to respect the deadline. You don't submit it at your own time. The online date will be set. When it passes, you cannot submit there again. And if you submit the hard copy without the online, that one too is another form of offense. You must do the submission of the online first before you come and do the physical submission of the assessment. So these are the basic things that you need to know and be expecting in a course. Now, if you finish there, okay, let me find out if there's any question before I progress to the contact. Any question on this assessment? Who is Apple? Please log out and use your right name to enter. We don't encourage people using device names or strange names that are non-recognized. Use your registered names to log in. Otherwise, they will be forced to take you out from the class. Okay, so rename your device name. Any question or concern? All right, I think somebody is in the chat. All right, so if no question, then the next thing that I would like to share with you is my contact. So in case you have any concern or challenges that you want to reach out, this is my contact and my email. You can do that. All right, Mr. Adams, thank you. And I'm Salifu. Great. I can now identify you as our rightful student and a participant. So any question, not, you can keep the, please, you can reach out when you have a challenge, but let it be done in a moderation. Don't call when you don't need to call. Don't send messages that you don't need to send. But you have any concern in the course or in the other studies that needs attention, you can reach out to me on this number as well as on the email. The course rep, I know I've shared another contact with you. So that is where we will come, the medium to which we will be communicating. All right, so if no question, then we'll move on to our first session for the week. We have about 17 minutes for me to leave you. So look at Unit 1. Unit 1, we'll start with Unit 1 today, and we'll be talking about essentials of operating system. Please let me add this. If you come to class over here, feel free and then participate. As for every lecturer may have his own approach, but for my class, which is applied to almost all the other classes, for the purpose of the online engagement, we want you to be interactive. If not because of the interactive session, we have just upload the materials there and ask you to read. But we want you to be active and take part whatever is happening. Is the reason why we encourage that when you are in class, please feel free, ask questions. If there are anything you are not clear with, be able to ask so that it will be clarified for you. And it will also inform the facilitator that you are there and you are active. So as much as possible, we want you to be active and engaging in each session that you have. Okay, so now week 1, to achieve our objective as I've outlined for you, see that I have 6 major units. So we take them week by week, and each week, depending on the models involved in the units, we can do some of them within a week, some of them will travel to 2nd or 3rd week, depending on the quantum of work involved over there. So in all, you have to read ahead before coming. That's what will make the class very interesting and active so that we can all move together. We don't want you to be lacking behind the class, so that you will always be there. Everybody has to be on board. So for this week, this is what we are starting. So I want to inform you that you will be writing some of the things down as we do it. So if you have a writing pad or notebook or jot anything, I would like you to write down the objective for today. So at the end of the day, everybody will have the record that in your engagement, these are the things that we discuss. So in a minute, kindly write this objective down at your end. Even though the slide and materials are there, let the record be set straight in your books so that we can move ahead. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
so kindly jot this objective down. Hey, who is that man? Is it Desmond? You are. Is it Desmond? You must. I see someone giving thumbs up and some animation.
It's Desmond.
Okay, great. I know you are digital man, so always your response are in a digital form. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay, now let's start and summarize this for the day. Before we go on, I've gotten some number in the house. I will give you a message as I told you. So let me finish at the end of the day. We finalize it. Now, with this course that we are going to do, some of you might have been studying for a long time. Some have stayed in business for a long time. So it comes like this, it becomes challenging for you to start all over. But I want to encourage you with these words as we go. Who will take the message for me? Message of the day. Anybody can read? All right. If you don't want to read it, that means you have lost 1 mark. I will have given the person who will read 1 mark, but since you did not read, I want to encourage you with this. The message of the day. He said, brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before. Yes, some of you, who knows where this one is coming from? Nobody knows.
Hello.
Yes.
Sorry.
I can't see my screen.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
stuck on. Okay.
Sorry. I thought you are with me. I should have told you. See, that's why you have to be active. I thought you are seeing my screen. Sorry. I hope you can see it now.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, so who can
Yes,
read?
please.
Who would like to read? Or tell us where it's coming from. Okay, so I said I have a principle. Sometimes I have to encourage you before we continue. So this one is from Paul. It said, brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching for those things which are before. Yes, this is Philippians 3:13. Now, some of you might have started your journey for long. Some of you might have engaged in some other business and other things for a long time. And now it's a time you have decided to make progression in your career. You should not worry if you are now doing it. Whatever have happened, let it go. This is the right time that you have. Use the most optimal use of this time to get what you want. It's better late than never. So this is what to the Philippians. And I'm also using the same thing to encourage you. Don't complain, worrying about why you have not done this for a long time. Now the time has come. Forget about the past. Press forward and keep striving. Once you have started, you surely get to finish. Somebody is now even preparing to come and buy a form, and then you have already started. So I want to encourage you. Forge ahead. Forget about the past, and you can reach the goal God has destined to be. May this be your dream and your expectation as you go through this course. If you believe, you can say amen to that.
Amen.
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 Okay, so for our objective for today, as I said, I'll be closing short. I want us to look at the basic definition of operating system. the function, and then explain the goal of operating system. Then next time when we meet, then we'll look at the detailed functionalities, the features, and the classification of operating system. So for today, our focus is going to be about definition, the basic functionalities, then we'll look at the goals, and then how operating system come about. That one, you do it on your own as an assignment. We'll be discussing next week. So basically, when you come to the definition of operating system, you define operating system as a system software that help the computer to function. If I were to ask you to tell me the definition, I think most of you will give me different definition. But since I think today being the first day, I know most of you are being cautious. You don't want to talk. But later on, you'll be coming in. So let me just give you what I have. And then later you go and digest it and come back. But if you have any question, you can ask. So, by way of definition, we said operating system is a system software that helps the computer to function or ensure that everything in the computer system functions smoothly. Now, if you talk about software in the world, in the IT industry, we have two main types of software. One of them is called application software, and the other one is also called system software. I believe you all know this, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, what is system software? If you say system software and application software, how will you differentiate the two? Anybody? How will you differentiate system software and application software? Since I have defined operating system for you, can you tell us what system software is?
Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
When we talk about system software,
Mhm.
um, it's a type of computer program designed to manage and control, operate computer hardware.
Okay. So good. So the system software is responsible for ensuring that it's able to control the entire system to function as it's supposed to function. Now, there is a specific type of system software that also helps you to do particular job, and that's what we are referring to as a system and operating system. But there are types of operating system software that we have. Before we go there, now that you define perfectly what a system software is, what about application? Anybody can take application or the same person. What is application software? Application software, once the system software is to ensure that the computer functions properly, the application software is a type of software that carry out specific tasks. For instance, if you're an accountant, you want to carry out your accounting job, the application software help you. If you are a graphic designer, there's a specific software that will help you to do your graphic designing task. Then if you are also an office administrator, there is a software that help you to carry out your office administration. So those things, those softwares are carrying out specific tasks. But when you come to the system software, they don't do the specific tasks just for a particular field, but they ensure that the entire computer system function as it's supposed to function. So that is the difference between a system software and an application software. Now, can someone give an example of system software and examples of application software so that we can get understanding about our course? That will narrow us down to where we are. Examples: system software and application software.
System software, Linux.
System software, Linux. Okay, you have tried, but at this point, we'll hold it on. Later, we'll come to it. Linux as an example of system software.
Application software.
Anybody else? The one who mentioned, the reason why I said so, I hope you understand.
Yes, please.
So if you can come another one, I want the system software first before we come to the examples. What we have given is an example of a particular type of system software. Yes, I want generic examples of system softwares.
Please, is web design correct?
Well, that one is application. That one for an application software.
Okay.
Anybody else? Where is Adams? Desmond, I want to hear you.
So I'm here.
Let me hear you since you have been giving more fans with your terms.
I'm also here.
Yeah, Desmond.
Android.
Okay, when you talk about system software, you have what we call utility software. I hope you have heard it before. Utility software, which comprise antivirus, NDD, and so on. Another one is device drivers. Please note the difference. Oh, device drivers. That's an example of a system software. Then another one is your firmwares. Firmwares is an example of system software. And finally, our almighty operating system. Operating system is also an example of system software. So if you listen to the definition, we say that system software is the software that manages and ensure that manages the computer resources and ensure that the computer works smoothly. So you can even define it as a set of softwares that help the computer to function. You can define a system software like that, a set of softwares that help the computer to function. So operating system is an example of system software. Now, the question is, so what is operating system itself? Then operating system can be defined as a software or a type of software that help the computer to function or help the computer to connect its activities. Please pay attention. Operating system is a type of system software that help the computer to function or that connect the activities of the computer system. While system software is a software that help the computer to perform or to carry out its activities smoothly or to run. Please, I find the differences. Hello?
No, please.
No,
Why is the
please.
problem?
Please come again.
System software is a set of software that help the computer to function, set of software. Now, examples of this set of softwares are: one, utility software; two, we talk about device drivers; three, we also talk about firmwares. They are examples of system software. And fourth one is the final and the ultimate operating system. It's an example of system software. So now, I know most of you have a lot of things in your mind, but let's continue. When you come to the examples of operating system, examples of operating system, then my friend who talk about Linux comes in as an example of operating system. Are you fine?
Yes, please.
Good. Then can you go ahead and give us another example of operating system?
Windows.
Windows. Good. Any other one?
Android.
Android. Good. Any other?
Ubuntu.
No, Ubuntu is an example of Linux.
Linux. So yeah.
We have Apple. Most of you, somebody, Salifu, you are using Apple machine. So Apple is also Apple is an example, or Mac OS.
Mac OS.
Yeah, it's good. So please, are you getting the picture of the whole thing?
Yes,
So
sir.
you must know what a system software is, know what application software is, then you come to know what operating system is. Now, the operating system, we say that it is a type of system software. It is not just a software, it's a type of a system software that coordinates or help the computer to function. Now, when you come to the application, we say it's a type of software that help or that perform a specific task. For example, like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, CorelDRAW, Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and so on. When you come to operating system and you have to give examples of operating system, then you are talking about Windows, Linux, portable device drivers, and portable devices like the Android, iOS, and talk about Apple OS. All these are examples of operating system. They come with their various versions. So if you mention Ubuntu, Ubuntu is a version of Linux operating system. If you talk about Red Hat, it's an example of a Linux operating system. You talk about Fedora, an example of Linux operating system. You can talk about pfSense, ClearOS. They are all examples of Linux operating system. Now, if I ask you to give me examples of Windows operating system, I know all of you can give me some, right? Examples of operating system. Examples of Windows operating system.
Windows 7.
So then you are talking about a version. So Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11, they are all versions of Windows operating system. Please, are you fine?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, another critical examples of operating system is this operating system, which is known as DOS. This operating system is also another form of operating system. So get it. So look at the definition of what operating system is. We say operating system is system software. You see, system software into brackets, set of system programs which provide an environment to help the user to execute the program. I don't want you to go and do chew and pour. So understand that operating system is a type of system software that help the computer system to function or that help to coordinate the activities of the computer system. When you come to the activities, then you understand the functions of operating system. So if you come, then let's lead us to the next thing. What are the functions of operating system? Just basic ones. Anybody, can you give us some of the functions of operating system? Time is almost
Memory allocation.
Memory allocation, good. So let's put it this way, memory management. It doesn't do just the allocation. It allocates and deallocates. Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
So put it this way, memory management. So it will involve both the allocation and then deallocation. Any other? Any other functions of operating system? All right, then don't worry, you go and read. Come again.
File management.
File management, good. Thank you very much. File management. Who is that? Is it Adams?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Then you are Apple, but I couldn't give me Apple as an example of operating system. So we have file management, memory management, process management, task management, IO device, input, output. You can put it under the IO management. Good. Then we talk about the communication and then the security and so on. They are all functions of operating system. Good. We'll go into details in the future. If you look at this diagram, it tells you how the operating system manages. Now, there's one key thing. Operating system also provide you with the working environment. So it helps other applications to also function. So we say that operating system help the other applications to function, and it provides users with a user environment, so user interface. It is the OS that provides you with the interface for you to interact with the system. And that mode of interaction could be either in a command line environment or in graphical user environment. Please, are you with me?
Yes.
So when you come to command line environment, it is the environment where users have to use a command line. You use code or you provide commands to instruct the computer. Then when it comes to the GUI, then in our environment, you see the icons and you click on them and you get a response. And that is the normal one we all use and we all like to use. But you being an IT person, you have no option than to learn both the command line environment and then graphical user environment. So we're looking at the two working environments in our course of studies. So that's what you must know. So basically, that's what the operating system is about. And the operating system extends itself in a form of extended machine. So we have a component we have the hardware, sorry, at the top of the hardware comes what we call kernel. There's something we call kernel, not the one in the military, but kernel, which is served as a heart of the operating system, where commands interpretation take place. Then at the top of it, we have the operating system that directly talk through the kernel to the hardware. Then at the top of the operating system come with the application softwares, your Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and so on. Then at the top of that, we have the user interface, where users are able to interact with. So if you are asked to come out with the main component of operating system, then you have to talk about the hardware component as one, talk about the kernel as one, talk about the operating system itself, and then come to the application and then the user interface. This made up the major component of operating system. Are we fine? Am I moving too slow? I promise to end at 8, so let me finish it. So these are the two working environments for OS, command line and graphical user interface. In fact, all that I'm saying, everything is in the slide and it's in the material that I've uploaded on the LMS. We can get in there and get access to all the information. So these are the various names you can give to the interface provided by the OS. Sometimes when you hear the word OS, you have to know its operating system. Now, let me ask this question. Using the command line environment and then the graphical user environment, which of these two will you like to use and why? I want any official answer. Command line environment and graphical user environment, which one would you like to use and why do you like to use that one?
So I would prefer the graphical user interface to the command line because it makes it very simple to navigate the system or the OS. Anything you want to do becomes simple, like you have the icons and everything. But with the command line, you just have to input commands into the terminal before you can be able to access something. So if you don't know the commands to which process you want to do, then it means you can't be able to access the things you want to do.
Okay, good. This was my examination, you have 10 over 10. So I'll give you 1 mark for that. Is there anybody who have a different view? Who like the command environment to the GUI? I hope the answer sits well with everybody. So, as you can see, what he said is right. These are the graphical user environment. You see the icons, you click on it and open for you. But as I said, as for you IT professionals or IT students who are becoming professionals, I'm saying professional because I know some of you are already practicing in the industry. And then others are also coming to enhance their skills. So you have no option than to know and embrace the two environments. Either it's friendly or not friendly, you have to love it and then learn how to use the two. So it is a must. So we'll start with the command line and then end up with the GUI, because I know GUI, all of you are already familiar with it. But the command line is something that we're going to do as our first practical lab exercise. But we'll do it online. If you're not able to do it online, then we'll wait when we come to face and we'll do it together. But we'll have the fundamentals. There are some basic commands that we need to learn. I think they are here. Not all, but few of them. Yeah. Like dir, copy, md, cls, all these ones. In the command environment, if you want to perform the tasks like to list directories, to copy a file or a folder, to create a folder, what you should do. Those are the commands that we use. Are we there?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we'll be learning it. So that's why you need to get your machine ready. So our next meeting, please get your laptop by your side. There are some things that we'll be demonstrating. I'll ask you to follow the screen instruction and perform it right wherever you are. You don't need to be in a physical presence before we do the practical demonstration. Then now, comparing the command line and then the graphical user interface. In terms of performing on multiple tasks or performing multiple programs at the same time, comparing the GUI and then the CLI, which one is easy? And then also in terms of speed, which one is faster when you are instructing the computer, the command line and the GUI, which one is faster?
I would say the command line.
Okay, why?
Well, in my line of work, it's quite easier to use the command line as compared to the
Okay.
GUI.
Good. So it means that, no, are you talking about convenience or are you talking about speed?
Speed.
Speed. As for speed, yeah. How about the convenience in terms of multiple tasks, doing multiple tasks, working multiple programs, command line, GUI?
Once again, command line.
Okay, that is your end.
Yeah.
Anybody?
I think the GUI is convenient.
Yes. But in terms of multitasking, multi-programming, when you are dealing with GUI, that one is easier and then more convenience. But in terms of speed, when you're dealing with command line interface, that one is faster because you work directly on the kernel. Because when you are dealing with the command line, you are working in the kernel, and the kernel is the working environment where commands are interpreted. But when you use the GUI, your compiler have to move it now to the environment where you are working have to be translated or move to the execution environment before it is translated. But with the kernel command line, since you work directly on the kernel, interpretation takes place immediately. You press the enter key, so it's faster. So that is what I want you to know. Okay, so these are the major examples of operating system which we have already enumerated. So far, that's what we have done. To end with you, I want to conclude on the goals of operating system. Why do we need operating system? There are basic three major goals that we need. One of them is that the OS help you to optimize and then make efficient use of the computer system or computer hardware system and make it much convenience. And then the next one is that it also provide you as a user with convenience and a user-friendly environment. That is the user interface for you to enter, either be command line or GUI. It provide you user interface. Without the user interface, it will be difficult for you to interact with the system. Then finally, it also hide the complexity of hardware components from the user to make it easy for you to handle the device. So if you buy a mouse or your keyboard or your printer, the only thing you need is that plug the printer or plug the mouse, and the OS will automatically integrate the drivers for you. And in a few minutes, you see that installation complete and your device ready for you to use. You don't struggle to do any extra things. So these are the things that you must know. Okay, so basically, I will conclude on this that there are some components that help the computer to function. Since the computer comprises so many components, how the components are connected is being guided and directed by the operating system. So the instructions that we send to the CPU in order to obstruct the functionality of the system, that particular instruction is called interrupt. Now, if you are in the house and you are many and everybody have his name and someone come there and we say, hey, which of you will turn? Everybody will turn and nobody will know who is responsible to or who is supposed to respond to that call. But if you mention the person's name, the person will know that specifically this instruction is coming from me and it's coming to me or is expecting me to do something. So in computing, since the components are many and they are supposed to be controlled, the instructions that we use to control them, that instruction that goes to the CPU to provide a specific direction in how to control the operation, that instruction is called interrupt. And interrupt in computing is very, very important because without interrupt, it will be difficult for the computer to respond and then to control difficult for the user to control its activity. So there are 3 types of interrupt that we deal with over here. Now, when the instruction is coming from the hardware, then we refer to that instruction as a hardware interrupt. If it's coming from a software, then we refer to it as a software interrupt. Then if it's coming from the CPU itself, then it's called trap. So in controlling the computers, these instructions come from different aspects, help to control it. Without this interrupt, it will be difficult for someone to operate the computer. The computer will continue operating or functioning in particular task direction until the task is done. Nothing can be done again. But with the help of the interrupt, we are able to obstruct the operation of the computer and direct it how it should operate. So these terms must also be clearly understood. Let me take this one again. Interrupt is simply a signal that is sent to the computer in order to obstruct its operation. And it's the OS that help it to do so. Now, if it is coming from the hardware, we refer to it as hardware interrupt. If it's coming from the software, it is referred to as a software interrupt. Now, if the signal is coming from the CPU itself, that it cannot respond to instruction, then it will send a signal to the OS that, no, this thing is happening, I cannot respond. Then that particular signal is known as trap. So these are the way we control the computer system. Are we fine? Hello?
Hi.
Yes, sir, we are fine.
Okay, good. Emmanuel too is there. So that is now the last thing is how you turn on the computer. There are 2 processes. One, to turn the computer when it is on and but it's not responding to instruction. We refer to it as warm booting. Now when the computer is off and then you are turning it on by pressing the power button and refer to that one as a cold booting. I know these terminologies, you know them already. So basically that's the 2 ways of turning on the computer, either cold booting or warm booting. And there are some processes that the computer goes through before it comes and gets ready for you to use. That one is called boot process. Because of time, I'll take time our next session to explain the process to you so that you can easily understand. I would like to end on this because it will take time for me to explain, and I don't want to rush you through this one. So based on that, I'll leave this particular one out, but I want you to go and read on it. What is boot process? I know most of you have been handling computers for a long time. When you talk of boot process, there are some series of events that take place before the computer is ready to use. And that is where the operating system comes in. You start the computer, it goes through the process by getting those prerequisite information. At a point, the OS operating system is loaded into memory. Then once it is loaded into memory, then the OS now take over the functionality of the computer system. That process is referred to as boot process. You must understand it and know what goes in at each stage of the processes, as has been listed over here. So we'll take that one our next meeting before we start. So on this note, I'm ending here. If there's any question, I want you to ask before I take leave of you. Any question? Okay. If no question, that means that you understood everything that you have done. So at the end of each slide, you see questions like this. These questions are meant to help you to understand what you have studied. And I want to encourage you. You are not required to bring them to me to mark. Those that are supposed to be submitted, it will be indicated. But spend time as you read, you take the end of unit questions, try to answer them to test your own understanding. That will help you to enhance your studies and then to make life easy for you at the end of the session. So this, I believe you can do so. So what is an operating system? Why is it necessary for computer system? Then you have to give the full meaning of GUI. Some of these questions will guide you as you study. So next meeting, we'll be talking about features of operating system and the functions of operating system. That will be our next studies. But you have a reading assignment. You go and read on this. Explain the how operating system come about. That's the evolution of computer operating system. I want all of you to do this as a reading assignment. When we meet, I'll ask you to enumerate it for us. Now, this question, you can answer them. Sorry, the date is not meant for you, but as I said, we use the same material for your colleagues, so you can answer these ones as well. I'll rephrase this one and put it on the LMS so that you answer and submit. But you can attempt this one as well on your own. If I am done, I'll put it at the LMS for you to do and submit. But for over here now, it is for your attention. Okay, on this note, we want to end here. These are the reference that we have. Any question? Hey, the silence means what? That there's no question or you are okay with everything. All right, so I will now leave. Please, you can stay on. The database madam will join you and continue with you. Thank you for coming. Sorry, we have to swap today and I have to end here this time because of pending assignment. And next week, Cosweb, let's communicate. I have it's not a good news for me to tell you, but it is a news. Unfortunately, my mom will be going to rest next week. So it's likely I may not be able to meet you online. So I'll discuss the course rep. If there will be a way, you are also steady. So I'll do pre-recording of the next week session and upload it on the LMS for you. So during the period, you go through and then I'll give you some self-assessment work also, self-study work. You do it and you submit based on the pre-recording that I'll do. So I'll not be able to meet you live next week because a week like this, to be a week where my old lady will be going back to the maker. So it will be unfortunate. Sorry that I have to inform you on this note, but it is important I let you know before it happens. So pardon me for not being available physically to meet you, but I'll do pre-recording of the lesson and upload it on the elements for your attention and also put some self-study materials and a question exercise for you to do during the period. I hope you spend time and do it. And when I come back, God willing, the following week, we'll continue with our normal lesson, right?
Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Please, our condolence.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. I think later on I come back, we'll continue with the rest of the session. So stay and continue with your database, madam. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. So I'm leaving.
Yes, sir.
Auntie Becky, I don't know if she's around at the moment. If not, I'll call her to join you.
Okay.
Of course, do you have her contact?
Yes, I'm communicating with her.
Okay. So I will not close the session. I'll just leave.